How's it going, Guardian? Shifty here, and today I'm back with another easy Legend Lost Sector guide. In this one, I'm going to be covering the Concealed Void Lost Sector on Europa. Now, in my easy guides, I try to use loadouts that are easily obtainable, and I don't use any special mods in my combat mod slot on my armor. Now, I'm trying to make these Legend Lost sectors as accessible as possible to as many players as possible. For this video, I will be showing you a full run on a Warlock, a Titan, and a Hunter. Before I get into my loadout for this one, if you end up enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright, I want to start by going over my subclass and exotic choice for each class. On my Warlock run, I went with Well of Radiance and the Stag. For my Titan run, I went with Top Tree Sentinel and Heart of Inmost Light. And finally, on my Hunter run, I went with Bottom Tree Golden Gun and Celestial Nighthawk. As for my weapon selection, it was basically the same on all three classes. For my kinetic weapon, I have the Biting Winds bow, and this is for overload champions and to take enemies out at a distance. And then for my energy weapon, I do have Ariana's Vow, and this is the powerhouse to my loadout. This has intrinsic anti-barrier rounds, it can do a lot of damage, and it can do that damage at a decent distance. On top of all that, this Legend Lost sector has solar burn on, so this gets a 50% damage boost. And then for my heavy weapon on my Warlock run, I used the Eternity's Edge Solar Sword. This sword is specific to Warlock, so on my Titan and Hunter run, I went with a negative space sword instead. Now, I am using both the bow and sword as an overload weapon, but if you're comfortable with just using one of them, go ahead and do so. I do want to mention that if you don't have Ariana's Vow, you could use an anti-barrier auto rifle. A couple of options include Arctic Haze, or you could use the new auto rifle that was introduced in Season of the Lost. If you do use an anti-barrier auto rifle, you're going to have to slot an anti-barrier auto rifle mod in your arms, which means you can't use both overload sword and overload bow in your arms. So you will have to make that choice depending on what you're comfortable doing. And then for my armor mods, they were the same on all three classes, so I'm just going to show you them once on my Warlock. I'll quickly show you each piece of armor, and if you need to see anything in more detail, just pause the video. Alright, and that is it for my loadout in this one. There will be timestamps if you want to skip to a particular run. Now, let's jump into it. Alright, so right at the beginning of this lost sector, there are going to be several enemies that we can take out immediately. Including a drag off to the right there. I'm going to hop over here and to the right a little bit. I just want to be ready for this overload champion. I'm going to go ahead and stun it with my bow. Apparently that stun didn't stick. That is one problem with overload champions, is sometimes the stun didn't stick. You could clearly hear I stunned it with my bow, but then it was unstunned immediately. Take out the vandals over there, and then go for this solar shielded heavy shank. And now we can move on to the next area. Now in the distance here, you will see a barrier champion. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it twice, get it to barrier, and then finish it off with Ariana's Vow. Might as well go ahead and take out a couple of those shanks as well. Some dregs down to the left on this platform. I'm going to hop up here and take out the dregs over on the platform to the right. And now for this arc shielded captain, you can go ahead and use Ariana's Vow. 3 shots should be enough to take it out. There should be 2 dregs on the platform over here. Go ahead and take those out, and then there will be a heavy shank in the distance. Ariana's Vow will make quick work of that. Now for this next part, you do see this vandal up in the distance. The bow should make quick work of that. But now we have an overload champion. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and stun it with my bow. And then I'm going to hop over here to the right and go for another stun. There we are. And in this room, we're going to have some wretches. I'm just going to go ahead and sword these as well. So right here there is going to be a wave of exploder shanks. They're pretty easy to take out, and then I like to focus on the vandal. I'll leave the overload champion and hop over to spawn a second wave of exploding shanks. And I'm going to go ahead and take those out. Try to dodge the Overlord Captain's attacks. I'm going to hop over here to the left. Got to try to stun the Overload. And I'm going to go for a sword. Now we can finally head to the boss room. In the boss room, we're going to have 4 wretches here. I'm going to take out the 2 on the left. When you take out the final wretch, we have to be prepared for the boss fight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull my sword out. And I'm going to super here. I'm going to light attack until it does a stomp. Then I'm going to go ahead and heavy attack. If it does teleport out of your well, you can always pull out Ariana's Vow. Just like that. And I'm going to heal up a little bit and then go for the chest. And there we have it. That was a platinum completion of the Concealed Void Legend Lost sector on a Warlock in Season of the Lost. Now I'm going to show you a full run on a Titan and a Hunter as well. Alright, so here we are on a Titan, and the run is going to be quite similar to my Warlock run. I'm going to go ahead and take out the enemies here at the beginning. Hop across here. I'm going to throw a grenade over there and then be ready for the Overload Champion. Hopefully it makes its way towards me. That was a pretty solid grenade I threw there. There it is. There it's stunned. And now I can go for the sword. Then I'm going to go for the Vandals in the distance. Well, I might as well go for this heavy shank while that Vandal hides. And just like my Warlock run, I'm going to go ahead and try to take out this barrier servitor in the distance. Looks like it decided to hide right now. We'll try that again. Should barrier. And after that, I'm free to take it out. Again, try to take as many shanks out as you can right here. And the dregs that are down low to the left. Three Ariana shots should take this captain out. And the heavy shank is down. Time to go for the sniping Vandal in the distance. The last enemy in the area would be this Overload Captain. I'm going to go ahead and stun it and wrap around to the right. Go for a stun again with my sword. Got stuck there for a second. I'm going to hop up here. Take out the wretches with my sword as well. And now we're to our first wave of exploding shanks. That was an accidental stun. Either way, I'm going to hop over and spawn the second wave of exploding shanks. And go for an Overload Captain stun. And we're almost to the boss room again. Go for the 2 wretches on the left. And when this 4th wretch goes down, I'm going to head to the middle here, and I'm going to go ahead and super. I'm going to light attack until it stomps. Unfortunately, it teleported away. So this is going to make this a little bit more challenging. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to back away. You see the boss came out. I'm going to go ahead and Ariana's Vow it. And now that it's down, I can head for the chest. We grab the chest, and that's a platinum completion of the Concealed Void Legend Lost sector on a Titan. Now sometimes you are able to take the boss out inside your bubbles, and other times it doesn't go quite as planned, just like what happened to me. In that case, you just kind of want to work around the situation like I did and maybe backtrack and wait for the boss to move position so you can use Ariana's Vow. Now I'm going to show you a full run on a hunter. So it looks like I'm going to just go ahead and bow this. And then, now that it's weak and I've stunned it again, I'll go for the sword. So this run is going to be quite similar to my Warlock and Titan run. The main difference is going to be the boss fight. Now that the Vandals are down, I'm going to go ahead and go for this heavy shank. 2 Ariana shots should take it out. Next up is this barrier champion in the distance. I'm going to go ahead and body shot it so it doesn't teleport in a weird position. I find that body shotting that barrier servitor prevents it from teleporting into a strange position immediately. Now I'm going to go ahead and take those shanks out. Then these dregs down to the left. It took me quite a bit longer to take that captain out than I would have liked. Now that the Vandal in the distance is down, I'm going to hop over here, hide behind here for a second, and then I'm going to go for the stun on the captain, but immediately wrap around to the right and use my sword to take it out. Just like my Warlock and Titan run, I'm going to go ahead and sword the wretches in this room. Take the exploding shanks out here. Here is the second wave of exploding shanks. Now the only enemy left is the Overload champion. So I do have knock him down going. We'll see if I can keep that up for the boss fight. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the wretches on the left here. Take out the wretches on the right. And then when the boss spawns, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my golden gun. I'm going to golden gun it, and then I'm going to head towards it with my sword. I should be able to survive at least one attack. And as you can see, I almost did die there, but between my golden gun and the sword, I was quickly able to take the boss out and grab the chest. If you do end up dying, that's fine. Just try to regroup yourself. You should have done plenty of damage to the boss. From this point, you can sit back and try to take it out with Ariana's Vow and then rush the chest. Of course, if you're not comfortable rushing the chest, you can always sit back and clear out the enemies before you head to it. Anyway, that is it for my easy guide to the Concealed Void Legend Lost sector in Season of the Lost. I hope that this video helped you out, and if it did, remember to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.